Revenge films.
My name is Kelly. I'm a 25-year-old company employee and I live with my parents. I have never lived outside my parents' home, so some people say that I'm sponging off my apartment, but I work hard and put money into that household, so my parents tell everyone that they are proud of me. My parents took great care of me, and I don't have much experience with relationships. I have never even brought a single boyfriend home with me. However, since about 2 years ago, I started dating someone who I met at work. He is the delivery man who often delivers stuff to our office. We were in a secret relationship. My boyfriend Jonathan is 18 years older than me, but he looks very young. He previously took care of me, and he never spent the night with me before we got married. I admired his sincerity and faithfulness. It's been 2 years since we started dating, so I haven't introduced him to any of my friends yet. But when I told my parents about him, they strongly opposed it. I predicted that they would oppose him because of the age, so I thought of persuading them even if it took a very long time. Then one day, a turning point came. He called me, so I went to the cafe where we always go together. To my surprise, he was waiting for me there with a bouquet of flowers in his hands. What's with the bouquet of flowers? My birthday is still a long ways off.
I know that.
Then what's with the bouquet of flowers?
Kelly, will you marry me?
He went down on his knee and showed me the ring.
You are very hardworking, responsible, and family-oriented. I want to make you the happiest woman on earth.
Thank you, Jonathan. Of course, it's a yes, but like I told you before, I need to convince my parents to...
You're right. I will continue to ask for their blessing until they say yes.
Hearing those words, I believed that he would be able to convince my parents. Since that day, in order to convince my parents, we continue to go every week to ask for their blessings. However, we didn't get a nod from my parents. One of the reasons why they didn't give us the blessing was, of course, because he was way older than me. But my mother looked like she doubted him for some reason. Despite that, Jonathan and I didn't give up and continued to ask for my parents' blessings for 2 months.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, please, give me your blessings to marry your daughter.
Dad, please, give us your blessing. That's all I'm asking.
I don't trust an old man who would make a move on a young woman.
What are you saying? Jonathan told me when we started dating that we won't spend the night together until we get married, and he kept his promise. Even now that we've been dating for 2 years, we haven't spent a single night together yet.
Is that so? I will cherish and take good care of Cowrie for the rest of my life, so please, give us your blessing. Really? All right, I understand.
Darling, are you sure you're okay with this?
Yes, but if you ever make my daughter cry, I'll send you running for your life. Thank you very much.
My parents liked his integrity and gave us their blessing. After that, we planned our wedding together. We have decided on a date that works for both of us and our families. Our wedding plan proceeded smoothly at a rapid pace. When Jonathan and I were both checking the invitation cards, I noticed on Jonathan's side of the family there were many children. Hey, Jonathan, don't you think there are too many children on your side of the family?
Oh, those are the children of my relatives.
Is that so? All right. I didn't ask him for further questions, and we finished checking the invitation cards. Then one day, as our wedding day was approaching, we already decided on the wedding day and made the preparations for the wedding. Don't you think it's okay for us to spend the night together now?
Actually, we will register our marriage after the wedding, so I won't spend the night with you until we live together.
What? Why? Are there reasons why you can't spend the night with me?
I don't want to do anything that would betray your parents.
Despite my parents giving us their blessing, he still didn't want to spend the night with me. That's when I started to feel suspicious of him. Then, the wedding day came with a suspicious feeling in my stomach. Many of my family and friends came to the wedding, and they all celebrated my special day full of joy and happiness. However, on the groom's side were only his parents and a few friends, plus 4 children kept running around the hall. Huh? Weren't there more from your side of the family?
Actually, most of them couldn't make it. So...
Really? That's unfortunate. I became more worried about the fact that there were only a few guests who came to the groom's side. But I had no choice but to leave his words. When the wedding reception began, I saw my father started crying. Seeing my father in tears, my friends started to be moved into tears as well. During the middle of the wedding ceremony, our friends started giving speeches. When my childhood friend in elementary school gave his speech, everyone was moved and tears rolled down their cheeks. And when it was the groom's friend's turn to give a speech, one of his closest friends walked onto the stage and stood in front of everyone. Then, at the start of his speech, a shocking statement was uttered.
Jonathan, congratulations on your wedding. I have nothing but respect for the young bride with a huge heart who agreed to raise and take good care of the 4 children, and to her parents who are accepting of your 4 children. Kelly, please, take good care of Jonathan and the 4 children. May you live happily ever after for the rest of your long lives.
Looking at Jonathan's best friend who delivered the speech in tears, the whole wedding venue went silent for a second. When I looked closer at the children, they all looked similar to Jonathan's face. That's when I learned that those children were Jonathan's. Of course I panicked. What? You've got to be kidding me! You have 4 children? I never heard any of this from you! What's the meaning of this?
Oh, I forgot to tell you, but actually, it's true. They are my children. All 4 of them.
Jonathan! You told us that Kelly was okay with the 4 kids! Was that a lie?
Were you thinking of hiding the fact that you have children and marrying her?
Of course, my parents were enraged, and Jonathan's parents didn't know that their son was hiding the fact that he had 4 children. Because of that, Jonathan's parents were enraged by him too. At that moment, the wedding changed from a happy celebration of wedding into pandemonium. Then his parents apologized to me and my family for their son's actions. Despite that, Jonathan tried to cover his lie with another lie.
I thought that if I told you that I had 4 children, I didn't think you would marry me. I don't have any bad intentions, so please, forgive me. You didn't have any bad intentions? Stop messing with my daughter! Did you think that your excuse would work when you deceived her?
My friends stopped my father with all their might as he tried to throw himself upon Jonathan. I thought something was off with this man since I first met him, but I didn't expect it to be this much.
I'm calling off the wedding! Never show yourself in front of my daughter ever again!
We will, of course, ask you to pay for all the wedding expenses. You're the worst! Don't ever contact me again!
Wait a second! Kelly, please, let me raise my children! I thought that you would work hard and cooperate with raising my children, Kelly!
You've got to be kidding me! This is not the right time and place to say that to me.
It's impossible for me to pay for the whole expenses of the wedding! I'm raising 4 children, you know! I could barely afford to raise all of them!
I don't care at all about that.
Please, Kelly, I beg you, marry me!
That's a huge no for me. Later on, I learned that he's been married 3 times, and that he got divorced the same number of times. His first wife took the 2 children with her, so he actually has 6 children in total. He pays for child support too, so he is having financial difficulties. Apparently, he was planning on making me work hard to make money so he could pay for child support, while I earn money for the living expenses. When I learned the shocking truth, I of course called off the wedding and demanded alimony from him. I returned to everyone's monetary gifts and made Jonathan pay for all the wedding expenses. His youngest children was still a 1st grader, so he wasn't able to spend the night outside his house. So I guess that was a sincere reason. But he didn't do it for me. Ever since the wedding was called off, Jonathan kept on apologizing to me, but I couldn't forgive him for tricking me into that situation. For that reason, I decided to let go of him and never get involved with him again. Then, even after using up all his savings, he wasn't able to pay for all the wedding expenses. So he ended up borrowing money from his parents. He had to work away from home in order to pay off his debts. Now he is desperately making money through hard physical work. As a reparation for lying to and hurting people around him, he lost his freedom because of the huge amount of alimony he had to pay me. As for me, I became cautious in love and relationships, by being able to determine those who are serious and sincere or not, so as not to go through a similar path ever again. As a result of that, I met a serious and sincere man. A year after I ended my relationship with Jonathan, my new boyfriend and I are now living together. I hope to be truly happy this time around.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.